Hello and welcome to Checkbook Reviews 142. Before we start, I'm sorry about the delay in doing any recently. I was planning on doing one. I made all the notes and got things printed out about Dickens, Charles Dickens, the author, of course, and his connection to chess, but it became more and more tenuous. And although I found 5 or 6 references to people doing the similar search, it isn't really possible to get hold of the complete works of Dickens. Not that I have it, not remotely, and going all through them. And even if somebody says, "Well, upon my life, sir, let us have a game at chess," it doesn't really make it anything of any excitement. So I've been delayed for several weeks, humming and hawing, and decided not to do it now. It's a nice idea for those of a literary persuasion, but it yields very little. Having said that, I changed tack completely, and Christmas has arrived. So I said to the postman, I've got an unboxing to show you. This has come from GAMBIT chess books. Just I hope it has. If it hasn't, it's probably an alarm clock from my Auntie Fanny. But no, I don't think it is. So let me open it. I think that should do it. There we go. Well, it's well wrapped, isn't it? Whoa! Look at this. Look at this. These people know how to operate professionally. I used to do bits of parceling up myself and send things hither and thither at work, and it's well, that can be tedious, but also brings a certain pleasure. Bubble wrap, paperwork. Don't lose your paperwork. And here an enormous work. Look at that! Isn't that a beauty? PCO. Practical Chess Openings. Chess opening theory has changed out of all recognition in the 21st century, yet chess literature has been slow to catch up with this. Martin, now this will test me, won't it? Kravtsev, a grandmaster and trainer of the same generation as Magnus Carlsen, is here to readdress this balance. And here he is addressing it. Covers all openings, emphasizes human understanding, deals concisely with unreliable lines, lavish detail. Excuse me, oh dear. Lavish detail, explains strategic themes, new and old, and examines ideas from neutral networks. It says he's a grandmaster from the Ukraine. So he must have written this as well. But that's not what we're examining at the moment. It has got a mere 543 pages. They use rubber indexes, which I like very much. It's got an index of variations at the back, which is a massive 8 pages. That's a lot. That's a lot, really, isn't it? 8 pages. Examines one knight c3. So I better tell my friend Mike Waddington. And also examines the Sokolsky. 1b4 and 1b3. Give some comments anyway. Okay, dubious, and rotten. I think it's 1, G4 is rotten. Not on the right occasion, this isn't rotten. Talking about the Resi and the New York system. I'm deliberately going backwards through the book to be cussed. Stuff about the righty. I call it Resi, but I know I should call it righty. Stuff about the English, which I'm now playing Blitz. Don't tell anybody. More and more about the English. Symmetrical English. Let me show you the format. I'll give you an indication of what you may like. You may not, but I think you will. And here's the cover for you to spot in libraries. The first truly modern single volume guide to the chess openings. There it is. So let's start from the beginning. That was just an icebreaker, but this isn't. This is the real thing. First published by GAMBIT Publications 2025. And it's translated by Graham Burgess, which is always a sign of quality. Looking at this, it's very, very oriented towards lines likely to be met at all levels of competition. You can't often say that. Sometimes they have, lines in the Queen's Gambit, really obscure stuff. This is not. If you were to buy in the old-fashioned style, in the way that 40, 50, 60 years ago, MCO, what the latest MCO with all the lines in it, and you think, well, good. The author writes, this is the 4th book I've written for GAMBIT Publications. Yes, and I've got all of them, and they're all good. And the first time I've received an offer to write a general book about openings from the publishing house. Yes. Deals with the London system, the Jobova, and the Trompovsky, and the Kolle and Zukertort. Now, if you think about it, those are the systems you're going to meet online, and those are the systems which at club level are comparatively straightforward. They rely on playing a set number of moves, not necessarily too many, nothing for you to worry about, 5 or 6, and then the game, in a way, begins. At the end of each opening variation or group of related lines, there is a conclusion. It generally contains a summary and practical recommendations. Well, you need that, don't you? You need that badly. Speed of development, fight for the center, quality of development, and king safety. Yes, it was the late John Littlewood that said, how often do you consider king safety? You should do so every 4 moves, 3 or 4 moves. John was a good teacher. He was a terrific player, but he was a good teacher. If you can understand these basic principles, you will appreciate why you should not start the game by making several moves with one piece or ignoring the fight for the center. But chess is more of a concrete game, so I won't bore you with lengthy general thoughts or risking giving too many rules of thumb, and instead move on directly to the openings themselves. And they divide it up into 4 categories: open games, e4, e5, semi-open games, e4 but without e5, 1 e5, closed games in Indian systems, mostly with 1 d4, and flank openings, everything else. It launches into very detailed explanation, but giving also, like the old MCO, the old BCO for that matter, but also showing lots of diagrams. I reviewed a book recently, and I scarcely had any. I think it had 3 diagrams in the entire book. Well, there's 6 diagrams and 2 adjacent pages, so make of that what you will. Lots of stuff on the King's Gambit, which I shall enjoy once again. One of my all-time favourite systems. I played the King's Gambit as a kid. I'm playing it now as an old man. This opening was developed in the 19th century by Viennese chess players. And it is in fact the Vienna. Well, he was going out on a limb saying that, wasn't he? Talking about the Dracula Frankenstein variation. Stuff about the Bishop's opening. The reason I stopped speaking was not because I stopped broadcasting, but because I was genuinely interested. There's a lot here. There is an enormous amount here. Stuff about the center counter. I would consider this a sympathetic book, an empathetic book. The author has obviously tapped in to how much weaker players, many of whom may be playing an enormous amount of chess, let's be honest. But perhaps if you lose a game, you go to your books, grab the book, go through it, perhaps in a very heightened state of mistrust of yourself as much as the written word, and say, well, what should I have done then? Well, the answer is what you should have done. If no prior preparation was possible, you should calm down, enjoy your chess, and look carefully through the many tomes. There we are. I don't know what this retails at. I'll have to contact your normal supplier. I imagine quite a lot. I think the invoice is going to help me. That's what's come out the $27.50. That's a lot of money, but nevertheless, look at it. Just look at it. It's beauty. I do hope you'll look through and give this book your time. I should certainly be burning some midnight oil, I don't mind telling you. I very much hope you'll enjoy this. Please, please like and subscribe down below. And thanks very much to Gambit. Go to www.gambitbooks.com. That address again, www.gambitbooks.com. Thank you very much indeed. This has been Chess Book Reviews 142.